Hi, Sonder family. It's week 24 setup, and it is so good to see you here on a Saturday evening. Some of you guys are in transfer, you're traveling and you're going from one place to another. There's a couple of you doing this from hotel rooms. Happy birthday to anybody who is celebrating a birthday this week or something else of significance, anniversary, or maybe somebody that you love. I'm Jennifer Ogilvy, and I'm coming to you from Garland, Texas, which is in the Dallas, Texas area. And I will be your facilitator this evening. And I'm seeing some folks dropping in the chat. It's their first time. If this is your first social, please drop that in the chat so we can give you a big Sonder family welcome. You have found a wonderful community. Yay, we've got lots of new folks with us. It's so good to see you. It's so great to welcome you guys because it means that you've carved out this hour with us to set up your journal. And when we are set up for a week ahead, we know that our week's just going to be better. When we put something pen to paper, just that act alone really helps us follow through. So I love that we've got a good gathering here. Lots of folks already have their cadence. They know exactly how they're going to set their journal up, but this is their appointment with themselves. So be sure to share in the chat as we're going along. Let us know the tips and tricks that work for you as we work these different sections of our journal this evening. And speaking of the chat, you're going to notice another facilitator. My co-facilitator tonight is Bailey Grady, and she is coming to us from Tennessee. So I love that we can be connected through the magic of the internet. And if you have any questions as we're popping along, if I'm talking it up and you think of something, drop it in the chat. Bailey's going to do her best to answer them, and she'll point you in the right direction to get those questions answered. Of course, anything you may need, hello@silkandsonder.com. Hello at Silk and Sonder. That's our little addy for our customer care, and they tend to work Monday through Friday, kind of regular working hours. They are on Pacific time, but I will tell you that sometimes they're popping on the weekend. So you could end up getting a customer care little help over the weekend, depending on who's around. Make sure your chat is set to everyone again so that we can all share with each other, and let's dig in. Just a reminder of our community guidelines. This is a safe space. You belong here, but we want to keep it safe for ourselves and for one another. So of course, no hate speech or bullying. But that's why we have Bailey. She's kind of making sure everybody's here and legit. We ask to respect each other's privacy because sometimes we do share stuff that we don't want the world to know, but we find that this is our safe space to kind of, get some things off our chest and then move on. Again, I want to mention that hello@silkandsonder.com for our customer care inquiries. And a reminder that at any time when we are working our journals, not so much at the weekly setups, but a lot of times this will happen at the journal digs when we're really doing those journal prompts. It can get emotional or maybe trigger something that doesn't feel comfortable. And you always have permission. Take care of yourself first. If you need to sit back and just chill, that is okay. This is not a race. No one's timing you. No one's going to take your journal up and make sure it was done correctly. You do you. So loyalty. I love that we have a theme every month because the theme helps us get to know ourselves better. And we had a couple of very fun, our last month was delight. And that was just a fun thing. And loyalty, I have found, especially after I read Mayha's letter in the front of our journal. Wow, loyalty to myself. Man, talk about self-care, right? When we are completely loyal to ourselves, our true beings, our true essence, and we embrace ourselves as we are, we can be so much better for everyone else. This is such a strong self-care theme. So I'm really enjoying doing a little digging into myself and who I am this month. And I hope that you are too. So we're going to start this evening with our loyalty mind map. I'll talk a little bit more about that in just a second, especially for those of you who are joining us for the first time. we're going to work on our rosebud thorn reflection from this past week. Now, you may want to think about this and actually do it as we close out our week tomorrow evening, or you may already know what you want to put down there. And then we're going to do our weekly setup. And I've got a ton of examples from you wonderful people that I'll be sharing this evening. There's no right or wrong way to set your journal up. You're going to find what works for you, and then we'll close. So the mind map, each month we use the mind map to take that theme, and then at these weekly setups, we kind of do a deep dig into the theme. So tonight we'll do a deep dig into loyalty, and we choose different lenses for each week. So we are on week 2. So just as a reminder, we're going to explore loyalty, specifically what it means to be loyal to ourselves. And when we stay loyal to who we are, we reinforce that self-love, which makes us better for everybody else in our lives. It's a way that we will acknowledge our own self-worth. And then when we treat ourselves well, that sends a message to the universe about how we expect to be treated. So like I said, we do this for 4 weeks. This is week 2. And this week, we are going to examine our likes and dislikes. So if you are joining us for the very first time, last week was week 1. We kind of did a little thoughtfulness on examining our core values and beliefs. So if you need to work on this for week 1 later, you can totally do that. And this week, we're going to look at likes and dislikes, and I'll share what I did, how the direction I took it to maybe help you guys with this. But I have put some tips on here. So you can do this actual loyalty exercise that grows over 4 weeks on a blank page in your journal, on the quote page, which is page 38. That's what I did. I'll show you mine in just a second. You might want to put it on the definition page, that page 3 where it has the definition of loyalty. Some folks like to use that weekly scratch pad on the weekly spread, and they'll put each week's journal response there in that, or just some sticky notes, and you might want to put it, put it throughout your journal. So I'll show you what my page looks like. Like I said, I did the definition page, and last week was doing that kind of consideration about those core values or those beliefs that guide your life. So I won't go, oh, Brenda just said she repurposes the expense tracker. So yes, that's a page. If you're not using it, go back and you can turn your mind map into that. So I won't go into last week. You can read what I did, but likes and dislikes is this week. And so the way I did it for week 2 is I kind of divided it into 2 sections, and I did the things that I like, some of those kind of hinging off of those core values and beliefs, and the things that I dislike. So I'll be glad to share. I said I do some of the things I like. I like to be challenged, to learn new things. I am an early retiree, so I don't have that hubbub of working life. So I try to be very intentional of learning new things. I like being part of a team or being part of a community. I like the legacy that I have created in my family. I was able to change some things so that I have a new legacy created for the people that I was able to raise. I like that I'm usually able to discern the main thing, right? Like just get to the point. And I like mattering to others. I like being that person that someone relies on. One of my core values is loyalty, and so just being needed. I like that. The things I don't like, I dislike slothiness and laziness. I shared with Bailey, my husband has kind of embraced that in retirement. I probably need to learn a little bit from him because I don't like to let grass grow under my feet. I don't like when I can't count on somebody who is supposed to be one of my people, right? I don't like that disappointment. I don't like being left out. I don't like not having support of others. I don't like the unknown. That's a hard one. I need to be more spontaneous, but I'm a planner and I'm a worrier, and I always think of all the things that need to happen. I said, I don't like a change of plans or problems. that don't come with a solution. When I was an administrator, if someone had some issues, come with me with that complaint, but also have some ideas, right? I don't like not having that. And I don't like that my mind is a worse scenario mind. I tend to go there on default. I have to be real careful. It made me very effective as a school administrator because I thought of all the plan A's, plan B's, plan C's, even to plan D's. But sometimes it really gets in my way because I worry too much. So yes, I was a school administrator, Felicia. So that's how I'm made. And you got to think of ways to frame that. But I think sitting with that really helped me realize that that's some stuff I don't necessarily like. Now, you may need a little more time than what we have to work on this, but we're going to get started on it. You might want to just jot some stuff down and then do a deeper dig in a little bit. Let me put on some music and feel free to share in the chat. If you're having some trouble or you're kind of like, I know what I like and I know what I dislike, drop that in there and it might inspire our fellow Sonder family members. I'll be back to check on you in just a minute. right. So I know that's not a lot of time, and you're probably going to want a little longer to dig into this, but we do need to get our weekly setup going. I do appreciate those of you who had a moment to share. And it is a reminder that, you don't have to like everything. And sometimes those things like, there's such thing as a righteous anger, right? That's anger can be a good thing because that's what spurs change. So being loyal to ourselves and really looking deep in our hearts about what we like and what we dislike helps us kind of get a grasp on who we are and what we need to put into place to be the best versions of ourselves. So, again, I'm going to let you kind of sit with this one. These are a little bit more of a dig into ourselves with this theme and really looking introspectively. And you never have to finish right now. And it may actually bounce around with you, and you may go back and put some things down. I think I'm going to add to my list because I was inspired by some of the things that you guys wrote. So let's get going now with our rosebud thorn reflection. That's going to be found on page 36. It's the end of this current week that we're on. And we just take a moment to do a quick reflection. This week, I got to meet my new great nephew. That's my big Rose. My niece has been trying to become a mama for a long, long time. And they were able to grow their family through adoption. And I got to hold that precious little one. And it was just so amazing to be able to see that family unit. My bud we've got a family vacation coming up to celebrate a milestone birthday. It's mine. I'm 60 in July, and we're locking in all the details, and my kids and grandkids are going to be with us, and I'm excited about that. This has kind of been my bud for quite a while now, actually. And then the thorn was the internet went down this week and messed up a lot of workflow that we thought we were going to have. So I am going to put on a quick song as you take a look at your week. What was your rose, that highlight or wonderful thing that happened? What emerging opportunities are coming your way, those buds? And what brought you challenges that you just kind of maybe want to leave behind in this past week? You don't want to take it forward. Feel free to work on that, and I'll be back to check on you in just a second. And some of the thorns, I'm so sorry. We know they're coming, right? Life is a mixed bag. I do especially want you guys to know that in this community, when you share those thorns, you've got us, and so you're not alone as you're dealing with things that can be really hard. So I appreciate you guys sharing. I'm excited for your roses and your buds, your new opportunities, and thank you for sharing this. This reflection really does help us appreciate what the week brought us, whether it was a rose or a thorn. And then it helps us kind of know what do we want to do to move forward. I know that Steph said her thorn was that she's a sole caregiver of someone who is um, recently had a medical thing. And so, when you write that on the paper, like that is a thorn, that's hard. But yet you see that and you can commit, okay, what can I do to make sure I'm taking care of myself? Yes. And Georgette just wrote, a virus was this week, those illnesses, those things that bring us down. It helps us to draw attention to it when we put it on paper. So thank you for working this exercise with me. So we're going to go ahead and move on with our setup. And I want to remind you, this is your journal, and we can get kind of bogged down into worrying about how it looks, or if we have mess ups or scratch outs or whatever. You don't need to feel that way. This is a tool for you. Make it work for you, right? Don't be a slave to working these pages to make them look, a certain way. If things don't go your way, that's okay. It's neutral. It's a journal. It's neutral. Take good care of yourself. You can use all the spaces in your journal just as they are. All of those little boxes and spaces may be perfect for you, but you can also change these things up and repurpose the space to work for what you have going on in your life. Now, if you're brand new here, you may want to grab a screenshot of this, or grab your phone and just do a click, because it's not exhaustive, but a lot of different ideas for ways you can use these spaces in your life that will work for you. You may decide that meal plan isn't something you need to worry about, or maybe you're only going to plan one meal a day and you want to move it to a different space. So you totally have permission to use this as you see fit for your journal. So we're going to start with of course, weekly planner on page 40. And I included a little picture of that little top calendar up there. You see that they're even using that top calendar, and I think that's such a brilliant idea. They've coded it out to classes, a Sonder Social, underline appointment days, put a dot if for the socials. So that's a great way to just do a quick week at a glance. Just a suggestion if you're not using that calendar for something and you think it might work for you. We're going to start off with thinking about how we want to feel this week, claiming this week and what that's going to look like. And so I'm going to ask you right now, just drop in the chat. How do you want to feel this week? And it may be exactly the same as last week. You may have claimed a couple of words or phrases that really worked for you, and you're going to bring them forward. You can use one word, several words, a phrase, a mantra. Maybe you have a sticker. I'm seeing lots of great things: fulfilled, rested, ready, valued, motivated. Maybe you've got a little picture you'll put there that will help remind you of how you want to feel. Productive. I think I almost always have productive and something on mine. Organized. Maybe there's a quote, and you can see there's lots of examples of how our Sonder family has set this space up. And I love the one that's the kind of in the very middle of the page there, where there's a feeling for each day of the week, just claiming each day if you have a crazy week. So I'm also seeing, let's see, prepared, rested, and energetic, organized, on a new path, a better for me path. That's a great way to frame out your week. Accomplished, peaceful, lots of good things. So we claim that feeling for the week because it helps us now shape those goals and those tasks that we have in the week ahead. There's a word cloud if you're kind of stuck and you're like, I don't know, I'm not sure how I want to feel. Maybe one of those words will jump out to you. Thank you guys for dropping what you want to do this week in the chat. Again, we often get inspired from one another. I think Karen is one of our other facilitators, and her word last week was effervescent. And it's like, oh, what a great word for this summer. So now we're going to take a look at those 3 goals, those major goals we're going to have for the week. And my question always is how are your goals for the week going to support that feeling that you just said you want to have, or those feelings that you want to have? And when looking at these goals, you may only need to set one goal. You know what your week is like, and maybe setting 3 major goals is a little much. Or perhaps you need to do 5 different goals, have 5 different goals met this week. So a reminder, you don't have to do 3, do what works for you. So you can use that intentions page on page 9 or your habit tracker to maybe think about how you want to set your goals out. How are those habits going for you? Do you need to set some goals to make sure that those habits are going? Maybe you're going to set your lens of your goals through the lens of loyalty, perhaps digging into those likes and dislikes that we worked on this week. Maybe you need to get rid of some stuff. So you're going to focus on some no goals, no spending, no late nights, that kind of thing. Go look at the previous weeks or previous journals. Are there some things undone that need to show up in this space? You can have a personal challenge this week, like maybe a health challenge, and that's going to frame out your 3 goals. And lots of folks will do different categories in this space, such as mind, body, soul, left brain, right brain, no brain, a goal for work, a goal for community, a goal for home. You can see that they're right there. So let me show you what some of these pages could look like. Now, the one on the left is mine. I started doing a frog and a fruitful and a fun. And it's that, that saying, eat the toad or eat the frog. That's the thing you don't want to do that you need to do. So I do that. Fruitful is something that's a little more serious, but that's going to benefit, my life or my family's life. And then something fun. There's a mind, body, work. There's a quadrant there for a reading goal, a writing goal, a moving goal, and a working goal. And here are some more pages. Again, you see the mind, body, spirit over there on the right. That is going to link up to that feeling of being authentic. And don't worry, I'll go back and forth through these slides while we work on them together. And here's, again, some more kind of category type goals: mind, body, heart, the left brain, right brain, no brain. And we're going to work on our goals now. So I'd like to know, what are your major goals? Now, what tends to happen is your to-dos can be how those goals get accomplished. So your goals are a little bit broader. And then your to-dos are what you're going to do to make sure that you meet those goals. So feel free to share in the chat. I'll be back to check on you in just a second. right. So some of you are breaking these down into categories like the left brain, the right brain, the no brain activities. And I saw some other comments about, I love how I can make this journal work for me, or I'm finally getting my groove and I'm figuring out what is working in my life with this journal, that it can be repurposed. I love seeing that. Thank you guys for sharing that. And let's see, Kathy said, I'm going to do 2 goals. And I'm going to encourage you, Kathy, to take out the word only 2 goals. You're doing 2 goals, and that's what you need this week. So good for you, realizing that you don't have to fill in all these spaces and give yourself so much to do that then you don't feel like success, because all of this is neutral, right? If it doesn't get done, it doesn't get done. It doesn't prove your worth, but it's empowering to get it down on paper. So now let's go ahead and look at what our to-dos are going to be this week. Now, you guys who have been with us a long time know that we always show the Eisenhower matrix. And if you're brand new, this is a fabulous tool. If you have a really long to-do list and you're feeling a little overwhelmed, using this matrix is a great way to take that to-do list and plug things in and figure out how to prioritize. You might want to grab a screenshot of this if you've not seen it before. I know that when I was working outside of the home, and I would have this huge to-do list, my automatic go-to would be to do the things that were not the priority, because they would require a little more energy. And so my default would be maybe to tackle some of the things that should have just been deleted. This is that good tool to help you discern what all of that is. So just, kind of that helpful. So here's what it looks like in real life from our Sonder family. You can see several examples of how folks have taken this Eisenhower matrix, put it in their to-do box, and sorted out some of the stuff that they're going to do so that they end up with the important and urgent items that need to be done now in the right space. They can focus there and then carry on. They also learn what really wasn't important and what wasn't urgent. So great tool if you haven't used that before. Now, I've got some other examples from our Sonder family, and I want to really look at the one that's across the top there. And you see that the 3 goals are balance, budgets, bylaws. So those were the 3 goals for the week. And then the to-dos correspond with whatever the major goal was. So taking that major goal and breaking it down into the to-dos to make that happen. That's a great example of really letting those goals define what your to-do list will be this week. But you can also divide the space up into things for work and things for home, your morning to-dos, your evening to-dos. Perhaps you're going to start a new routine. Your routine can go there. You can use it just as a plain old to-do list where you're doing a brain dump. You can see someone else divided it, that top left one, self, others, house. And then some ways to repurpose it. Lots of folks will drop a mini bingo board here. Now, I am a team bingo person. I love having a bingo board on my weekly every week. I put mine in my shopping list. But there's something about that gamifying it where we get to mark those little boxes off and aim for a blackout. It just feels great when we're able to accomplish those things. My bingos are always tasks and treats. I'd be sure that I include some fun things in there. But you may also use the space for a great quote. Perhaps it's your to-do list and you're going to leave it blank. And then as you accomplish things, you'll put your successes in there as a to-do list. I put my to-dos in the weekly spread under each day of the week. But then the extra things that I do, they go in my to-do box. So again, some suggestions there. And perhaps it's a to not do list. Maybe you need to take some things away that are not serving you. Maybe your not to do things are things like no negative self-talk, and you're going to write that in there so that you have this visual and you're seeing that. So let's work on our to-do list. Let us know how you set this up, and we'll be right back to check in. that I'm seeing some folks trying some new things. The idea of a weekly quote to just guide you so that you're seeing that in this space is so good. And Sarah said, I have to learn to not be so scattered and stop being a people pleaser. And so many of us are wired to be that way. But you can make you a don't list, right? And put that on there so that you're seeing that on a daily basis when you flip this journal over. So now we're going to take a quick look at those habits and activities that we're going to set for the week. And I'll be honest with you, a lot of times I just transfer these straight over from week to week. But the difference in these habits and activities from that monthly habit tracker is that that big monthly habit tracker at the front end of the journal, we like to kind of put the things that we plan to do the majority of the days every day on that tracker. The habit and activity tracker for the week is great because you can set this up for that particular week. And you might only track a couple of things here. You don't have to fill out all the lines. You can go look at that June habit tracker, and maybe one of those things needs to go, on your weekly habit tracker. And I'll be honest, one of my weekly habit tracker items every week is to go check my monthly tracker, because it makes me turn that page and go back to those things that I planned to do every day. So let's just take a look at what this could look like. You can see, I want to point out, okay, so we've got 5 spaces here. You don't have to fill them all out. And you'll see some examples here that folks have done maybe 3 things, 4 things. You don't have to fill out every space. You also don't have to set a goal for yourself. This could be just a straight tracker, and you use something like the one on the bottom there, just you color it in when you get it done. I actually take I have a medication that I do every 3 days. So I have medication, and then I circle the days that I actually need to do that medication. And that's how I remember to do it. You can see that in the middle right and the bottom right, these activities have been set, and the days of those activities or habits have been circled. So it's kind of like a little mini calendar there, to hold yourself accountable for that. And then some people also like to gamify this, and you'll see that one in the very middle right. There's something they're doing 5 times, then 4 times, 3 times, 2 times, 1 time. And that's just kind of a fun way, again, if that motivates you to get those done. So I'm going to, and then the one at the top in the middle, look there. I think this person might be going on vacation. So they're only going to track the first 3 days of the week, and then the rest of the week they covered up with washi tape. Take that pressure off. So let's set those habits and activities for the week, and I'll come back and check on you in just a minute. love what Bailey said. Sometimes she just slaps a sticker over this space and focuses on that monthly habit tracker. Again, it's about whatever brings you vitality and helps you stay loyal to yourself. So don't feel obligated to fill this out. If it doesn't speak to you, put something happy there that's going to make you feel great instead of something that's going to burden you. So now let's jump over to page 41, and I'm going to go over all these sections together because this page tends to get repurposed a lot. I'm going to share a ton of examples, then I'll put on a song for you to utilize how you're going to, fill out all of these different spaces. We're going to do the meal plan, the mind body health plan, our shopping list, and the I am loving box. Now, again, you can use this page just as it is. But if something isn't speaking to you, there's different ways to fill it out. So here are some ideas from Sonder family of how they repurpose the meal plan space, those nice chunky rectangles there that we love because we can fill so many things. It's got a good space for writing. And I'll just scroll back and forth through these when you guys are working on it so you can grab it. But you can see journal responses, feels and meals. I love that. Like, how am I feeling? What do I need to eat? Or it could be how am I feeling before I eat so that you are making great decisions? Or how do I feel after I eat? Because I'm noticing some things with some foods that I want to talk to my doctor about. Your self-care plan, weekly reflection, chore list, appointments, maybe a tracking list or a wardrobe tracker or a packing list. And I always love to point this one out on the left, those water drops. It's if you're not using them, this is a great way you can color code them to track what you're drinking. Are you drinking sodas, tea, coffee, lemonade, water? I think that was a great idea. So I always like to point that one out. And that one is actually an affirmation of the day tracker from Sonder Club. The mind body health plan. Again, lots of folks like to use this for what are they doing to nourish their minds or their bodies, that kind of self-care plan for the week. So there's lots of ways to set this up. I love the Motivation Monday, Transformation Tuesday, Mother Nature Monday, that kind of stuff. So I'll scroll back through these so you can see what works for you. A couple of times I've done this self-esteem journal that's there on the right, where you just do a quick little response to something I did well today. That's Monday. Tuesday, I felt good about myself when. So just kind of working on that good self-talk. Here are ways that these spaces have been repurposed. Wordle, a cleaning list. There is truly the mind body health plan there at the bottom middle. Face mask, read a book, be intentional about taking care of yourself. Let's see, let's keep going. You can see some unplugging early, just some things that are assigned to every day. That one in the bottom left is mine. I did that a couple of times, like how am I going to move my body today? And then I just drew lines to however that worked itself out. Love the one in the right. The mind body health plan is get off of my butt, right? Go move my body. The shopping list can be used for a ton of stuff. I said earlier, I like to put my weekly bingo here, but you can do any of those other things here. I know somebody actually does their main meal of the week goes on this one because they repurpose their meal plan. And here's how that will look. If you're having a birthday, make yourself a birthday bingo. I did that one in the upper right last year, and I had so much fun because it was all about me and celebrating myself. So I encourage you to do that. If you have a birthday, find a place for that. It could be your shopping list. It could be an unshopping list. And I love the stay out of the dollar store. That's just that reminder. Again, it doesn't serve me. I'm going to take that away. And then doodles, maybe a great quote. I love the social check-in there on the bottom right. How am I going to interface with my people? And so just a way to track, have I called? Have I texted? Have I had a face-to-face with those people in my life? And then we love to take time to look at what we are loving this moment in time. And it can be anything. It can be food, a show, people that you're with. What's going on at work. So let's go ahead and work on this page, and I'll scroll back and forth between all these examples and kind of let us know what you do. All right. So you've got a good start to setting up your week, having those plans in place. As we exit tonight, I'll go back through these next few slides. These are just examples of how folks have set up their weekly spreads, those that Monday through Friday, so that you can kind of see how they've done appointments and that kind of stuff. I'll scroll back through that. Please, if you are repurposing or you just want to show off your handiwork tonight, please go to Sonder Club and share your page. There is my playlist for tonight, but I'll share that link in the chat. And then finally, we have a refer a friend promotion still going on. If you refer a friend to Silk and Sonder, use that QR code that you see on the screen, and they'll get $10 off, and you'll get $10 off, as well as the feedback QR code there on the right. You can do that, but you'll also get a follow-up email to this. And those feedback surveys are great places for you to be able to also, if there's something you want to see in your journal, you could ask for that via those feedback surveys. So Sonder family, I want to thank you for joining us for our weekly setup. It's going to be a great week. And I hope I get to see your pages in Sonder Club. And I just thank you for carving out this time for yourself and being loyal to yourself so that you'll have a great week. Thanks again, and I'll actually see you tomorrow night. Bye.
No one told you life was gonna be this way. Your job's a joke, you broke, your love life's the away. It's like you're always stuck in second gear, when it hasn't been your day, your week, your month, or even your year. But I'll be there for you when the rain starts to fall. I'll be there for you like I've been there before. I'll be there for you 'cause you're there for me too. You're still in bed at 10 and work again at 8. You burned your breath